There are many different people in the world. All of us are unique and different in our own way. We all have our talents, our natural abilities, and even our disabilities, no matter how big or small. Some people are born to live a long time, and some are born with incredibly rare conditions that would disable a normal person. Join us as we look at some incredible people who defy what anyone would call normal, and you might not believe they even exist at all. Apaz Iliev. According to Guinness World Records, Masazo Nonaka of Japan was the oldest man alive and was 113 years old when he passed away in January of 2019. And Gustav Gerneth of Germany, born 15 October 1905, is the world's oldest living man according to Guinness World Records. However, there is another man who people in his village claim he was born in 1896. If this is true, then he is the only person left alive from the 19th century. Apaz Iliev is from the village of Guli in southwestern Russia. He is 122 years old and is still quite active for his age. He says he has never smoked or even tried alcohol. He only eats vegetables from his garden along with some dairy products, meat, and spring water. He has lived in the mountains his whole life and only came down to fight in the revolution with the White Army. He then went to the front during the Great Patriotic War, but was later deported to Kazakhstan. This old mountaineer has 8 children, 33 grandchildren, and 34 great-grandchildren. He has outlived 2 wives, and up until 5 years ago, was still riding horses and herding animals. He was supposed to meet with Guinness World Records, but it is unknown if he is able to verify his age. Well, there seems to be no reason for this man to lie. Do you think he is really 122 years old? Benny Harlem. Instagram sure has made a lot of people famous for different reasons. Benny Harlem is an artist, singer, model, and social media sensation. His big thing was hair, or his seemingly superhuman hair. Benny can be found with a ton of different hairstyles. One of those hairstyles that he is famous for is called the top fade, and he holds the Guinness World Record for the tallest high top fade. It measures 20.5 inches tall. Benny has 522,000 followers on Instagram, and you can always catch him doing something unusual with his hair. He poses a lot with his daughter, who sometimes shows off her own hairstyles, or it's the same as her father's. One thing is certain, Benny probably has the biggest hair you will ever see. Yu Jianxia. The next unique person might freak you out a little bit, and you've surely never seen anything like this. Some people are really tall or really old, or they have some unique ability. But for Yu Jianxia, she holds a Guinness World Record for one of the most bizarre things, the record for the longest eyelashes. You'd never think that eyelashes could grow so long. Her eyelashes aren't like everyone else's though, as they measured 4.8 inches long for the record. But it turns out there are other people with freaky long eyelashes. And Gillian Criminisi from Canada has eyelashes that measured at 3.1 inches long. So how does Jianxia get her eyelashes so long? She says she simply washes them when she washes her face. It's worth mentioning that in many cultures, long eyelashes signify beauty, and in other cultures, they trim their eyelashes. Sawan Singh. Beards are back in and fashionable once again. Interestingly enough, many women find beards attractive, and if you grow a long beard, you'll get plenty of attention. Of course, there is also a Guinness World Record for growing the longest beard. There was a Canadian by the name of Sawan Singh who was the Guinness World Record holder for the world's longest beard on a man alive, which measured an astounding 8.25 feet. In September of 2011, when he was measured by officials in Surrey, British Columbia in Canada. His first measurement was 7 feet and 9 inches in length, but years later it grew much longer, and he is currently still the record holder for the longest beard on a living man. Charles Osborne. This is probably one of the oddest stories you will ever hear. There was a man named Charles Osborne who was born on December 14, 1894 in Anton, Iowa, in the United States. When Charles turned 22 years old in 1922, he had an attack of the hiccups which began as he was working in a pig slaughterhouse. But here's the very bizarre thing. The hiccups would not go away, and he continued to hiccup almost his entire life. During these years, it was estimated that he had hiccuped 430 million times, and he tried all kinds of remedies, but nothing worked. This would probably drive the average person crazy, but not Osborne. He got married and had a family, like other people. The frequency of his hiccups at the beginning of the attack was 40 times a minute, and then over time it became less frequent, happening 20 to 25 times a minute. The interesting thing is that when he turned 96 years old, the hiccups stopped. A year later, Osborne passed away from a stomach ulcer on May 1, 1991. Chanel Tapper. Everyone is born different and unique, and some more so than others. And Guinness World Records has almost everything you can think of. A student from California, Chanel Tapper, is listed as holding the record for the world's longest tongue, which measures 3.8 inches from the tip to the top lip. If you want to compare that to something, her tongue is twice as long as the average tongue, is as long as the world's largest cockroach, as wide as your palm, and the same volume as a quarter-pounder hamburger, and about the same length as an iPhone. Chanel didn't even know her tongue was so large until her mother took a Halloween photo, and that is when they noticed that she had a really long tongue. Many people who saw the photo started commenting on it, and she says that some people only know her by her tongue. Annette Kielak. 36-year-old Annette Kielak started her career at the age of 16 as a female powerlifter and has since then won several Polish championships, and in 2000 became the European champion in her class. Born February 26, 1982 in Malbork, she is one of the first Polish females in the sport to break the 1,100-pound barrier. She was suspended early on in her career, but the reason was unfounded and overruled by the court. She once again began training in weightlifting and became Polish champion in juniors and vice champion in seniors. Since 2002, she has been competing and training on equipment typical for strongman and strongwoman contests. Only 1 year later, she won the world's strongest woman in Zambia, and in 2004, Europe's strongest woman in Ireland. She then was world champion, world's strongest woman in 2003, 2005, 2006, and 2008. Annette also appeared on the second edition of the Polish version of Dancing on Ice, and she finished the show in third place. Irene Sewell. When training for marathons, some runners will test their endurance by wearing a heavy backpack or running up some steep incline, or during intense hot weather. But if you are Irene Sewell, you're seeing how far you can run in high heels. That's right. Irene runs marathons in 3-inch high heel shoes, and in 2017 she ran 26.2 miles at a race called Seven Bridges Marathon in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 28-year-old Irene got the idea when she heard about a London woman who attempted a Guinness World Record by running a marathon in high heels. However, that woman was disqualified because she took off her shoes halfway through the course and finished the race barefoot. Irene was first inspired to start running when she volunteered at a local Ironman contest. She has already completed several marathons and all in high heel shoes. Irene was previously a professional ballroom dancer for 5 years and thought that, with her dancing background, she could pull off what many people call crazy. She trained by running in tennis shoes and then doing 3 to 7 mile runs in her high heels once in a while. But she also wore her heels as much as she could to create calluses and get her feet ready. It's unlikely that this record, as painful as it sounds, will go a long time without being broken. Kay Underwood. This is an interesting story about a woman named Kay Underwood who suffers from two of the most unlikely and rare conditions to have together. One of the conditions is called cataplexy, which causes a dramatic weakening of the muscles, and the person will lose consciousness and collapse. Things that can trigger this are any type of exhilaration, anger, fear, surprise, and even embarrassment can cause the person to suddenly collapse on the spot. So if Kay suddenly finds something funny and starts laughing, she will end up collapsing and be paralyzed for several minutes. But she will still be able to understand what's going on around her. Kay was diagnosed with the condition at an early age, and she once collapsed more than 40 times in a single day. But this isn't all she suffers from. Like most cataplexy sufferers, Kay also battles narcolepsy, which is a condition that causes her to drop off to sleep without warning. There is still no cure for either condition, and the theories on the cause are still unknown. Kay has been taking a new medication to see if it helps, but she still has to deal with falling asleep or passing out from extreme emotion, and strangers don't know how to react when this happens. Supatra Sasufan. There seems to be many strange and unique conditions that affect humans. There is one in particular called Ambra's syndrome, or as it's otherwise known, werewolf syndrome. And you probably guessed what it causes. Supatra Sasufan is from Bangkok, Thailand, and her face is covered with hair. In fact, she looks like a real werewolf. In 2010, she was the hairiest teenager on record. Of course, she had to deal with the bullies at school, but she overcame that, and she attended the 2010 Guinness World Records ceremony in Rome. When she was crowned, she stated that, "Being hairy makes me special. This is the happiest day of my life." Recently, Sasufan made the decision to shave all the hair off of her face after she fell in love. Now she's even happier than ever. It's a good story about how anyone can overcome anything and succeed no matter who bullies you. Biggest ears. And lastly, we ran into a photograph of a man that is apparently from Mongolia. He is an older man, but the first thing you notice are the size of this man's ears. They are huge! In Mongolia, there is a proverb that says, "A man with big ears is a noble man." If that's true, then this man must be the noblest of them all. There isn't any information about him online, but if the photograph is real, then he would clinch the biggest ears in the world from Guinness World Records. Have you seen this man before, and do you think the photo is real? Let us know what you think. We hope you enjoyed this video. Which one of these did you find the most interesting? If you liked the video, then click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when a new video arrives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.